John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a head that I've wanted to test for a while, but just for whatever reason never got around to it. So I picked some up the other day. It's called the Muzzy HBTI. It's the Muzzy titanium hybrid broadhead. So it's got a fixed blade component and then a mechanical blade component with an overall really big cut. And I'm really eager to put it to the test and see how it performs. I'm going to be using my regimen for 2024 for this test. For a detailed description of that, please check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2024 Broadhead Test Process. And it'll answer a lot of the questions that you may be wondering or would like to ask. I'm also going to be using my Elite Era compound bow for most of the shooting. I am loving that bow this year. And for the accuracy testing, I'm using the Killer Instinct SWAT X1 crossbow that I'm also really enjoying. For all the different shooting, I'm using Bishop Archery arrows and bolts. All right, let's zoom on in here and check out this Muzzy HBTI and put it to the test. So here's a good look at the broadhead. It does have a bit of a wobble. I worked on trying to get that out, but at least with my efforts, wasn't able to get rid of the wobble. It's definitely not the arrow, but it's still a pretty cool looking broadhead right there, isn't it? So this is a hybrid design where you have a fixed blade and then you also have a mechanical blade. In terms of the materials, the ferrule is titanium and each of the blades are stainless steel. This fixed blade is 0.050 inches thick, nice stout thick blade, and then the mechanical blade is 0.039 inches thick, so no slouch there either. The dimensions in the closed position, okay, you got this 1 inch fixed blade, that's static, and then it's 0.7 inches in the mechanical in the closed position. Upon impact with the medium, there's no O-ring or retention clip. You just get a gator style opening like that, and then that cutting diameter is 1 5/8 inches. So the total cut is 2 5/8 inches. Now, it doesn't have much support to these blades in the open position, and there's nothing that really keeps them open except for the forward pressure on those little deployment arms right there. It's got a cool serration to it. That's just going to aid in slicing as it penetrates. That's single bevel, and the main blade is double bevel, and that's just straight edge. Okay, no serration to that. So really interesting looking head. I'm not sure how durable it's going to be or how effectively it's going to penetrate, but I'm eager to give it a whirl and see. If I were resharpening this, I would use the Stay Sharp gray guide for resharpening this head. I think it would work well with that. But I'm eager to put this to the test and see how it performs. It just caught the 9 ring. The mechanical blade took 154 grams of force to cut through the wire. And the fixed blade took 182 grams of force to cut through the wire. So the average of the two was 168 grams of force to cut through the wire, or a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus a 0.32 point bonus. It penetrated 8.5 inches. However, the mechanical blades never deployed. They didn't deploy on impact, and they didn't deploy at all throughout the gel as well. That's not uncommon for a gator style head, and that's usually not the case on animals. But I do have to penalize it a point because it gets extra penetration due to its lower cut size without that mechanical cut. The mechanical blade took an extra 25 grams of force to cut through the wire. And the fixed blade took an extra 36 grams of force to cut through the wire. So the average of the two was an additional 30.5 grams of force to cut through the wire, or a 9.39 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 32 layers, which is a 4.57 on a 10-point scale. And honestly, that's not all due to it having such a big cut, because the mechanical blades were not fully deployed on many of those layers. The head is in perfect condition after the 3 shots through the MDF, so it gets a 10 on a 10-point scale. Here it is after just the first shot through the steel plate, and you can see the tip got pretty blunted there, and then the fixed blades just came off, broke off, and then the pin that holds the mechanical blades in place broke off as well. So the mechanical blades are just kind of loosely hanging in the ferrule there. So it gets a 2 on a 10-point scale for durability in the steel plate. So here it is after a shot into the cinder block. Now what happened is this is the head that I started the durability testing with, and it did well through the MDF, but then on the first shot into the steel plate, this pin broke off and the blades became dislodged and kind of wedged down in the base of the ferrule, and I didn't want to shoot this one into the concrete for fear these blades might come back and hit me, but I wanted to see how it would do in the concrete, so I shot a new one into it, and you can see it held together, but the ferrule got pretty bent up, and those blades got pretty bent up as well. So, you know, the cinder block isn't the most important test, but combined with the way this performed there, and then that other one in the steel plate, just durability is not one of the strengths of this Broadhead. So what'd you think? You know, there's a lot of cool things about this Broadhead. I mean, it just looks wicked cool. I can imagine, you know, it hitting an animal, you're going to get some massive destruction by and large. Didn't quite measure up to the penetration standards that I would have and the durability standards that I would have to hunt with, but I can imagine it's been successful for a lot of different people. You check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, as well as the corresponding lust grade, and the list of all the discount codes that I can offer for a bunch of different Broadhead manufacturers, as well as some other pieces of outdoor gear, just to pass on some savings to you. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next time.